Dear students, welcome to today's class. Today we are going to discuss something about the famous film Bicycle Thieves. As your examination is near, you have to study well. First of all, we can discuss about the summary of this film. This film directed by Vittorio De Sica. Vittorio De Sica's Bicycle Thieves is one of the masterpieces of Italian neo-realism. It is adapted for the screen by Cesare Sabatini from a novel by Luigi Bertolini. You know that what is neo-realism? You have studied well. In post-World War II Rome, Antonio Ricci is desperate for work to support his wife Maria, because in those time it was very difficult to get a job, and so the Ricci, who is the hero of this film, he want to get a job. His son Bruno here discussing about and his baby, and Bruno also, as it is, even though he's a baby, he has to work. He also have to go for some works or something. He is offered a position posting advertising bills, but tells Maria that he cannot accept because the job requires his bicycle. So what was his job? You know that the fixing of advertisement posters or like that, film posters or like that. Fixing was his job, but it need one bicycle. It was compulsory, which he has pawned. Uh, he has to pawn. What is a pawn? You know that pawn office means an office or a bank or something which give some sorts of loan. That is pawn office. Maria resolutely strips the bed of her dowry bed sheets. As they were poor, there was nothing. Only bed sheets were there. In those time, bed sheets were as part of dowry. It was very costly for the poor families, and the bed sheets were there. Maria strips the bed sheets, prized possessions for a poor family, and takes them to the pawn office. A pawn office is an office that will give loans in exchange to some things like this, where they are exchanged for Antonio's to hawk bicycle. So they give a bicycle in exchange to the bed sheets. Takes them to the pawn office where they exchanged. Memorable shot shows the sheets being added to a mountain of betting pond by other families, suggesting extreme poverty of post-war Rome. There, in that scene, that was a memorable one because a heap of such bed sheets were there. Almost of all families were in the same condition that narrates the poverty, extreme poverty of the post-war Rome. Along the way, Maria insists to Antonius' decisions on leaving money for a seer who had prophesied Antonio would find work. Here, one scene that uh, a, a lady is there who prophesied that Antonio will get a work. On his first day of work, Antonio is atop a ladder when a young man snatches the bicycle. And the first day itself, first day of his work itself, he was in on the top of the ladder. Then somebody came there. He gives chase, but he lost his bicycle. A young man snatches the bicycle. He gives chase but is thrown off the trail by the thief's confederates. He could not chase the thief. The police take a report but warn that there is little they can do. Though he complained, there was no chances or no hope was there. Police told, we have nothing to do, but what you want to do is that go and search for. Advice that stolen goods often find their way to the Pizza Vittorio market. It is a market where scraps are available. That means pieces and scraps of all things are available. Antonio goes there with several friends and his small son Bruno. And one day, and he goes there with his small son. They locate a bike that might be Antonio's and summon an officer. There was one bike, and that might be Antonio's and some or an officer. But the serial number does not match. But when it was matching to the serial number of that cycle number, but it is not matched. At the Porta Ports market, Antonio and Bruno spot the thief with an old man. And in the next market, they found an old man. They purse the thief, but he eludes them. They demand the thief's identity from the old man, but he begins ignorance. That old man said something, some ideas about the thief, but he was not ready to reveal it. But he begins ignorance. They follows him to church, but he slips away from them. Antonio has Bruno wait by a bridge while Antonio searches for the old man. Suddenly, there are cries that a boy is drowning, and so Bruno and Antonio was there uh, to ask this old man. In that time, something happened that a boy is drowning. Antonio rushes towards the uh, commotion and is relieved to see that the drowning boy is not Bruno. It was not Bruno. Antonio thought that it may be Bruno. Antonio treats Bruno to lunch in a restaurant where they momentarily forget their troubles. But on seeing a rich family enjoying a fine meal, Antonio is again seized by his calamity and tortures himself by reckoning his lost earnings. So they are in that restaurant. They forgot about their stolen bikes and they had their meal. They near a football stadium inside a game is underway while outside rows of bicycles await their owners. Near the football stadium, a lot of bicycles were there. It was very difficult to find out which is the right bicycle. Antonio sees an unattended bicycle near a doorway. He gives Bruno some money, telling him to take the streetcar and wait at Monte Secco. These are all some different markets. Antonio circles the unattended bicycle, summons his courage, and jumps on it. There he could find one unattended bicycle there. It was alone there. Summons his courage, he jumps on it. The hue and cry is instantly raised because a lot of people were there around there. They cried aloud, and Bruno, who has missed the streetcar, is stunned to see his father surrounded and pulled from the bike. Somebody, when Bruno look about that, a lot of people were there around. They were all pulling and um, hitting his father. The bicycle's honor steps slaps the hat from Antonio's head as Antonio is being muzzled toward the police station. The honor notices Bruno, who is carrying Antonio's head. In a moment of compassion, the honor decides to let him go. Film ends with a shot showing Antonio and Bruno walking slowly off amid of a burning crowd. They were in a definitely they are disappointed because they lost their cycle and they lost their dignity also as a result of a lot of such and such issues. Neo realism never got more real than in Vittorio De Sica's 1948 classic Bicycle Thieves. You see that it was in 1948 it is a black and white movie, and those time itself this movie was one of the number one in picturization and in every concept it is number one. Antonio drops everything to go on a desperate odyssey through the streets of Rome with his little boy Bruno to get his bike back. Pleading and accusing and uncovering scenes of poverty similar to theirs where they go. They create a roar in classic crowd moments in the streets, in a market, in a church mass. Faces always gather weirdly around the pair, all commenting, complaining, generally magnifying the father and son's distress and mortification. So everywhere in the film itself, we can see the crowd, the mass, and the roarings, and such and such problems of the mass and the population and unemployment. Everywhere we can see. As with all fables, the heart of these stories, power is not in the style of the telling, but in the power of the situation it describes. At the same time, the situation the story has become partially synonymous with the style and milieu of Italian neorealism, with its socio-economic concerns, its loosely structured storytelling, and the unpolished realism of its real locations and untrained actors. In a word, the film is an ideal marriage of form and meaning. So everywhere we can see that it's one of the classic film. Though it is structured in a loose way, a loosely manner, but it is number one classic films. Even now, it is the number one classic films. Jessica pioneered a lean, stark presentation with non-professional actors. The style with its subject matter based on a hard post-war life. These actors, the hero and other actors, they are all non-professional actors. They are not the famous figures or in the main figures. They are all non-professional actors. That is the style of D. Sika's. Uh, it can be called as D. Sika's style by using the non-professional actors making films. The film is bringing the previously ignored working classes to the stream. Like many of the neo-realistic directors, his primary aim in the film is to use the camera to show how people lived while maintaining an objective distance. The non-professional actors give fine performance and lend the film a documentary-like air, even though the narrative itself is fictional. We can say that it is more or less like a documentary than a film. But even though the narrative itself, the socio-cultural elements are high. That means it is related with the socio-cultural elements and the society, the possession of the society and the post-war period in the Rome at that time, and neo-realism that's clearly pictured in this film. The film is a conscious backlash against the Hollywood middle class melodrama shown ironically in the film itself when a poster of Rita Hayworth is posted to an advertising board. The film contains all the elements of typical neo-realism: harsh cinematography, poverty of the principal characters, urban squalor and of the course, a lack of judgment at this predicament. Everything is pictured here, and so it we can say it is the one of the um famous film that in the world film history itself. Thank you all.